name is Wale. I work as Olawale and Wale for short, right? I work at Tech Experts, right now as the talent acquisition manager for Africa. And I mean, I've spent all my career in HR, mostly in talent acquisition. Um, and going straight to your question, the most interesting activity in my career, would be say 2020, 2021, here at Tech Experts, when I was asked to, we're starting a new site, in Rwanda, and I had to come up with, the entry strategy, right? How do we enter into the market, into the talent market? How do we, hire, engineers, and I'd never been to Rwanda, right? I had to do everything online. What does the labor market look like? What's the total population? Do we have markets? I mean, do we have candidates in our sphere? At what tipping point would we have to go out of the country to attract more candidates, to ensure continuation of business continuity, okay, talent acquisition wise, so all of that had to be done on, online using LinkedIn Insights. It was a lot because, hey, executive management was waiting for, what we're going to do, right? So that was one interesting thing in my career. Eventually, it was a success. Okay, we started the site in Rwanda eventually last year. Right now, we have grown the site to about 80 employees, and we're going to be hitting, over 100, in the coming week. Right, so it's been a tremendous success. It was an interesting activity I can't forget in my career. Entry into a new territory where you had never been before, starting a new site. Building the foundation team. Okay, both senior and the engineers. I mean, it was quite interesting and something I would always remember. Yeah. I always say to people when I have opportunity of talking to them, like, you have to be selfish with your career. Okay, I always say that. I always say that to people. And in the spirit of that, the first thing I want to consider when joining the company is, what is the growth opportunity for me, right? I mean, am I joining this company for the short term or for the long term? Okay, if I know that it's somewhere I want to stay for 2 years, 3 years, then I'm going to be asking you, what is the need for me career-wise? All right, because for me, it's not just about money. Okay, I want to build a career. That's why I'm here. You want me for my skills. I want you for my career progression. So the first thing I'm going to be looking at is, what is the need for me? What's the career growth? Okay, after this position I'm coming into, what's next? All right, so you want to ask, what the career growth for you is in that organization. Very key. Secondly, I mean, again, I always say to people, right, as the company is interviewing you, you should be interviewing them also, okay? Because we both need to meet, at some point convenient for both of us, really, right? And I always say to people, understand the culture of the organization, okay? Understand their people strategy, understand, how the organization treat people, okay? Because, hey, an organization that does not treat its people well, it's on its way to disaster. Okay, find out as much information as you can about the culture, about the people's strategy, what engagement do they do with employees. I mean, what can you find out online? Okay, ask the interviewers question. I mean, let me say this to you. I was in an interview with a company in the US once, and when I was meeting with the chief of staff, and I was asking questions, and then she became uncomfortable, okay, with me asking questions, and for me, that was a red flag. Okay, as you're having a time to have a chat with me, interview me, I should be able to interview you in court and ask you a question about your organization, right? If it is not a two-way thing, then something is wrong, all right? So for me, that was a red flag. Okay, so interview them, get to know their culture, get to know their people strategy, get to know how they treat, their employees, okay? Get to know work-life balance, okay? That's the second thing you want to look at. And the third thing, Snare, at a at a senior level, at the level of my career, let me speak to me. What I look at again is what is the business model, okay, of this organization. For me, it is extremely important. Okay, at the lower level, people may not consider that, but as you begin to grow in your career, okay, you want to ask yourself, okay, what does the business model look like? What's the operating model? These are the things you want to understand because, hey, as a leader, this is what will impact how you are able to deliver. Okay, I mean, trust me, if the business model is not something you're used to and you don't want to try something new, you just want to let it go. Because I've seen people join organizations. I mean, I'm a talent acquisition person. That's what I've done on my career. I've hired people who comes in and after 6 months they move. Okay, culture shock. The business model or operating model is not what they are used to. Okay, and they just can't deal. Okay, so that's the third thing you want to look at, right? What's the business model, of this organization? And as you begin to grow in your career at a particular point, what's the business model? Is this something I'm used to? Is this something I can work around to make sure I deliver on expectation? All right. This is the third thing I'm going to be looking at. The first thing I want to look at is what's the career growth for me? Second thing I'm going to be looking at is what's the people culture? How do they treat people? What's the engagement like? Okay, am I able to ask questions during the interview? Okay, is this kind of organization I want to work in? Okay, culture, people related wise. And the third thing I want to look at, the business model. Okay, operating model. Can I deliver, on my expectations with this kind of model? Is it something I'm used to? If I'm not used to it, is it something I can? Is it a model or I can thrive in? Okay, those are the three questions. I mean, three things you should be considering. Looking at the tech industry, what we have right now, scarcity of these talents, right? And, I see that continuing in the next future, because to be sincere with you, tech recruiters are going through hell right now, okay? And I see that continuing, into the near future, 3, 4, 5 years, if we do not build talent, right? We're still going to have that scarcity. Companies, in the tech space are still going to, I mean, you saw what happened to Microsoft. Microsoft just doubled their salary, for God's sake. Okay, this is in the news just, a few weeks ago. Microsoft doubled salary of their employees just to be able to keep them. And then they went further to say, hey, before you had non-disclosure, I mean, it was Microsoft or one of the, fans, before you had non-disclosure of your salary. Right now, it's fine, you can disclose. Okay, but the executive guys cannot disclose, of course. They are doing all of this to try to retain these guys, okay, because of, the scarcity that we have, all right? And one thing that everyone needs to start doing right now to mitigate this issue in the future would be to build, okay? We need to build. Now, I would say to you, I mean, to be fair, on some companies, they are building, okay? We are seriously building in our organization at Tech Experts, okay? And some people are building. But the truth is, we have very few organizations building talents, okay, in the industry, okay? And what that means is that, these guys building are feeding a large chunk, okay, of this, I mean, within the ecosystem. And you know what that means, okay? It is not enough, okay? Everyone needs to buy into the build philosophy, okay, of hiring, so that, in the next 3 years or 5 years, okay, let's be fair, in the next 5 years, okay, this, scarcity of talent that we have will ease out. Let me be sincere. Let me say something to you, Snare. Right now in Nigeria, companies, local firms are not only competing with themselves, they are now competing with global firms, okay, who are coming in droves to Nigeria to take guys out of here and also give them remote jobs, okay? I mean, look at that. A number of these guys are trying to build in Nigeria, and as they are building, they are coming to take them, okay? Now imagine if every organization, every tech organization is committed to building talent, right? In the long run, okay, the scarcity that we have, we ease out. Now, what are the challenges that I see? I see the scarcity continuing, okay? And if we do not build, I see that, the quality of talent that we have will begin to drop, okay? Right? So we need to build so that we don't, have these two issues, in the nearest future. Thank you.